My fear is that we're in a 25-year period of time in which there has been really disinvestment in higher education. We spend just slightly more money today in real dollars than we did 25 years ago, and yet enrollment is increased 60% during that period. So we're actually spending more than 30% less per student than we did 25 years ago. And, higher education has always been America's competitive edge. It is what has enabled us to have the world's best economy, and I worry that if we don't continue to focus on the importance of higher education, continue to invest in it, that we will lose our competitive edge. And that's true internationally, but it's also true in individual states, because I think those states that do invest will have the competitive edge. And the reason is pretty obvious. That is, everybody believes that the jobs of the future will require more education, not less. And so I hope that America will think a lot about higher education's importance, not just to those students who attend, but the research that is done there, because that's where most of the research in America is done now, to think about all the other ways that universities, public universities particularly, touch the citizens of their states and realize what a value and treasure higher education really is in America, and maybe we can reverse this trend. That's what I'm hopeful that will happen in the future.
I was also struck by comments where you were saying you were worried that the discussion has become all about the economic value to the individual and not to the society as a whole. And I'm sure you hear, even probably more than I do, the rhetoric that seems to reinforce that former view a lot.
Yeah, I think it's clearly part of the value of higher education is to the individual. We want our students to come and be prepared for the workforce and be able to leave the university and find jobs and be successful in their lives. There's no doubt that that's part of our responsibility and our duty, but there are many more things that the university does for, particularly, again, a public university does for their state. And, in North Carolina, for example, our public universities bring in excess of $1 billion, about $1.2 billion, I think, last year, in outside research dollars. And, as I think many people now realize, most of the research in America is not done in corporate labs, as it once was. It's done in universities. And so it's critical that we continue to do that critical research for us, because it is important that we remember that this is where new discoveries come from, this is where new businesses come from, this is where, we spin out companies and develop patents and all the things that are important to the economy. And then there's the service side of universities, where through, in our case in North Carolina, through agricultural extension, industrial extension, the Small Business Technology Development Center, our area health education program, that we touch every single county of this state and touch the people of this state, even if they don't attend the university or even if their children don't attend. So there's a much broader value to the public university than just the individual value to the student that attends, and I think that's something that we've lost sight of.